Hello, and welcome to the part of the show where I read a book. Um, I have had this book from my old neighbor, one of my really good friends, for a while. I seem to get very, very behind on physical books, which is part of why I decided to do this, because this would look silly if I was just sitting here with an ebook. Um, and also because I have the goal of hitting 26 physical books this year. And eventually going through my own physical TBR that I have at my house. First, I have to finish all the library books and the books that I've borrowed from everybody else. Um, anyway, so, and it is called Home is Where the Bodies Are. So I'm going to be reading that and reviewing it. I'll take you along the way. It's not a super long book. It's 246 pages, so I'll keep you posted on where I am and how it goes. Okay, I'm one chapter in. And it was a very short chapter. It's only a few pages. So here's the thing about me, which we'll learn together on this one. I never look at the synopsis of the book. Like, if I look at this, it has like blood on a tape, on a VHS tape. On the back, it has Ashley Flowers on here, which is she does. I don't remember which true crime podcast it is. Colleen Hoover, stuff like that. It's talking about secrets and twists and stuff like that. Okay. Aside from seeing that Ashley Flowers and Colleen Hoover were on the back and seeing that there's blood on the front, I don't pay attention because I want to go in completely blind. I think that summaries spoil it for me sometimes, a lot of times. But what I didn't expect when I opened this was to want to cry in the first chapter. I don't do well with grief and loss of a loved one. So when you open it up and immediately her mother is dying, it took me. It took me for a little bit. I mean, okay, I knew there was gonna be death in here, but like there's a difference between death and losing someone. Does that makes sense, right? Like I fully didn't expect to be experiencing the death with somebody. But it was very emotional. It was very well done, even just the first chapter. Like honestly, I wasn't gonna stop, and then I was like, I actually like felt the tears coming. Which this early in a book, never, never. So, yeah, it's done really well. I will say, I really miss whenever books had like true chapter titles. Like it's just one, and then it says who the character, whose point of view it is. Same thing with the next chapter. It says Michael. So we're going to be going back and forth. I'm sure. I don't know how many characters it's going to be. There's not really. Why would there be a table of contents? It just says their names. That's silly. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. But I just needed to stop and just be like, this was very emotional. This was already, it hit me. Although, I will say, losing a loved one does hit me extra hard in comparison to all the other emotionally charged things. So that could be a me thing, potentially. I'm going to keep going though. Okay, I am on page 15, about to start chapter 4. So we've gotten a chapter of Beth, a chapter of Michael, and a chapter of Beth. Michael's chapter was only like 1.5 pages, 2 pages, okay? Not very much. So they're siblings. We haven't heard the third sibling yet. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's only 3 siblings, okay? They just lost their mom. So the oldest one has been there the entire time. She's been taking care of the mom. I know she has a daughter. That's all we know. The son he went full steam ahead, they said, and like he had like a good life, whatever that means, we don't know. Um, and he like left the family 7 years ago. He hasn't really talked to any of them. And then the third sibling, I don't remember her name, but she is an addict. So we don't know where she is or what she's doing. Okay. Um, Whenever the mom was dying, it was just the oldest sister there, so Beth. Um, and the mom said, "Your dad didn't disappear. Don't trust." And then she didn't. She died. Okay. So then Michael comes like right after she dies, and of course he's like, "Sorry, I wasn't here. Oh, if I only had, if they didn't sit on the tarmac for half an hour, maybe I would have been here in time." And then like all the time, she's like thinking, maybe you should have just tried to be here any of the 7 weeks that we knew that mom was dying. Um, like why'd you wait till the last minute? Which agree. But anyway, so we also know that the dad disappeared 7 years ago too. So it's like, why did he disappear the same time that like the son left? Was that like a catalyst for the son leaving? Was there some reason that they left at the same time? Like maybe the son was the reason that the dad left? I don't know. We don't know that yet. I still feel like there's murder in here somewhere. Like maybe like the dad murdered somebody and had to leave, or I mean, it says home is where the bodies are, so like maybe it could go either way. It could go, he's a serial killer and so he had to leave and he buried them on the land, or um, he actually died or was killed and was buried at home, and somebody else took his truck and like made it seem like he was leaving. So that's where I'm at with that. I don't know. I don't know the mystery yet. I don't know. I mean, I'm only 14 pages in. We aren't going to know much, right? But there is a mystery. Also, there's grief. And also the siblings kind of hate each other. Like, the brother kind of seems stuck up from like his chapter. He's like, oh yeah, they probably resent me for actually doing something with my life. And then like, really it's just the older sister is just like, I resent him for leaving and never helping, which does feel like an older sister thing to think and feel. Um, but yeah, so good so far. Really like the writing. Really like the writing. Um, it flows very well. Like it feels like somebody's talking. It's all in first person. Um, so it feels like I'm like hearing the story from somebody. Like somebody is just telling me a story instead of me reading a story. If that makes any sense. But I really enjoy it so far. So I'm gonna keep going. So we officially have answers on the daughter. I'm gonna guess she's probably like 19 because it said that she was 19, 20. It said she was in South Korea and she's there for a year and then she had training the year before. So she hasn't really been home. Um, Sounds like the mom and the older sister, Beth, pushed everyone away whenever dad left or disappeared or whatever. Um, So maybe that's why the brother left and was just like, screw this, I'm out. Beth's divorced. Uh, we know she had more contact with her sister, and then after years and years of helping her through addiction and relapsing and stuff like that, she gave up. After she's like, nope, I can't do this anymore. So it's been a year since she's talked to her. We did finally get a Nicole chapter. Nicole is her name, the sister. So um, she was attacked. They got the call like right after Michael saw their mom and said goodbye to her body, and the hospice worker came home. So we didn't really get much from that. We just got that she's trying to be sober and she's like 29 days sober. I don't know if that means that she relapsed once she got the news, but she did get beat up. So um, she's in the hospital. She's choosing to check herself out, and Beth answered the call, and Beth and Michael went to go pick her up. So they're all together now. I have a feeling that together they're going to have to figure out what happened to their dad. Um, I still, for whatever reason, I think it's just because I didn't like the way that Michael talked about his sisters or something. Like everybody was a burden and the town was a burden. I still have the feeling that he was like involved somehow, but like he probably wasn't. It was probably like he just decided to leave whenever, like the same year because he's like, I can't deal with this anymore, maybe. But that's my thoughts. I feel like they're going to figure it out together. And where am I at right now? I'm on page 28 and I'm about to start chapter 6. So this is honestly really fast. Oh my god, she's so pretty. Huh. Okay, she's really pretty. Also, I was thinking about taking the dust jacket off, and I think I'm going to because it's just getting annoying. I'm going to do that right now. But it does say, so like, this is the cover, right? And this is the undercover. It's a TV, and it says Summer 99, Summer 1999, and that's like the VHS tape that's going in. And in Nicole's chapter, she did mention 1999. So I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with anything, or it probably is. It probably is. But we don't know what. Like maybe that's when somebody killed somebody for the first time or something. I don't know. This has to be murdery because it's a thriller. It says an emotionally charged, twisty, and haunting thriller you won't soon forget. Lisa Jewell. Yeah, there's bodies quite literally buried. This has to be a murder or something. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I'm on chapter 10, page 50. Now, here's the thing. There's not really much to say. However, like it's just a bunch of like sibling things. Like it's siblings fighting. It's siblings loving each other and yet grieving each other. Actually, there is one portion that I did want to read. Hang on. Let me get to page 37. I just remembered that. So you can tell like Michael left, right, and didn't feel like he took care of everybody else, and now he's kind of either feeling guilty about that or feels like he can step in or something like that. We did learn that he did send money to their mom. She didn't use any of it. She still kind of lived off of Social Security, and then the oldest daughter, and then all the money that he sent is now getting donated to missing persons. But it's interesting because it's like they all have not really seen each other in so long, and it says Michael pauses, looking over his shoulder. His eyes try to meet mine, but they don't because I'm looking right through him. It's hard to see someone when the memory of them is stronger than the person standing right in front of you. And that's like, I feel like that's like obviously there's like a mystery in this, right? Like there's like something's happening. They're honestly about to go watch some videos from 1999, which one of them, I think Nicole said, that's when everything changed, but I don't know why. So we're probably going to see a little bit about that. But like, honestly, like the subplot in this is hitting me harder than the actual plot. Like at this point, I don't even care about solving the mystery. Like it's there, it's interesting. I want to solve it to a point. But like I care less about why the dad isn't there, and like I care more about like their relationship and like how they're going to heal it or if they're going to be able to heal it, because like I feel like that's the thing. Like grief is so hard. Like grief and watching somebody die and watching somebody just like waste away in front of you and knowing you're never going to see them ever again, like that's hard enough. And then like the grief of someone who's still here, but they're just a way different person. Like they're not them anymore. They're not the version of them anymore that you know, and vice versa, right? So like I think that's just like the part of this that I'm thoroughly enjoying the most, because like it's explaining in words what I've felt so much. This is why I love reading. This right here is why I love reading. Like so far, love this book. Don't know that I care about the mystery. I mean, I want to know the mystery, but I don't. I just love the way that she's writing this grief. So I feel for this author. I feel for the things that she's definitely gone through to have written something like this so authentically. But also, thank you for being so willing to put the vulnerability out there that puts it into. It just puts it in so in words. So yeah, but we're about to watch a home video from 1999. So I'm excited about that. We'll see how it goes. We finally got to a murder. Ish. But we don't know if it's a murder. They say it's an accident. Essentially, after the video of a normal day in the life, um, there's a little bit where the mom is recording. The dad runs up and panics with blood all over him, and then they run to go. He says to help her. Well, he says, help me. She runs. I don't know if she thought she turned off the camcorder or not. They run, and there's a dead girl in a Britney Spears t-shirt. Now, I wonder if it's going to be the same person. I wonder. There was another girl. I think it's not the same person. There's another girl earlier in the film, like in the home video, that came by to talk to Beth, and Beth didn't want to hang out with her. It feels weird that they would mention a random character that's just not going to be in it ever again. But like maybe that's going to be like her older sister that died or her younger sister that died or something like that. I don't know. The dad says it's an accident, but not to call the police because they won't see it that way. I don't know. I mean, the mom did say don't trust. So like maybe he's a serial killer. But I mean, like, why would he ask her for help then? if he like meant to kill her. Might have been like a passion killing. Maybe it was his first time killing. Maybe it was just like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But I'm about to start chapter 12, which means that I've read 61 pages. So already, oh God, this is so good. Like only 246 pages too. So like, I mean, this is, I don't know, so far very good. Very enjoying. Very much enjoying. Interested to see if he has killed multiple people, if he was a victim in some way. Hmm. So my cat Bagheera decided to cuddle with me. I don't know if you can actually see him or if it just looks like I'm petting nothing. He's a little void cat. Anyway, okay, so I am on page 85, chapter 16, and there's a few chapters where we're getting like the mom's viewpoint, whether it's the video or a journal or something like that. Honestly, not much to add other than like it's very much just giving us the backstory of who these people are, right? It's giving us their family. It's giving us the way they were as kids. It's giving us like the connection between the parents. There was a portion where like in the current timeline, Beth's old flame Lucas, who is they did tell us in the next chapter who was in the video who died. It has nothing to do that we know of, nothing to do with that girl that showed up in the video, wanting to see Beth. So that might have been like a red herring or just like a random girl that they mentioned to humanize people. But so the girl who was killed is Beth's boyfriend's high school boyfriend's little sister. Okay, so in the rewinds, we're learning more about their relationship. We're learning about the parents' relationship, and we're seeing a little bit about like Michael and Nicole, just how they were as children, right? Current timeline is literally as soon as they're done with this video and see what happened, and they have a conversation for like 2 seconds. There's a knock at the door, and it's Lucas. So right now, the siblings have decided they're not going to tell anybody until they know a little bit more. They're looking in journals. They're probably going to watch some videos, I'm sure. They're going to try and figure it out. I don't feel like the siblings had anything to do with it. If anything, Michael knew something because he was like apprehensive of even watching the video. So maybe he was like closer to this girl. Maybe he knew something about the girl. But he was like 13, so I don't think he had anything to do with it. Maybe he knew about things later if the dad really is a serial killer. I don't know. And they are bringing up, they're like, I think Nicole was like, no, this is dad. Like, he couldn't have done that. It had to be an accident. And then, like, Beth is like, yeah, well, BTK and I don't remember which other serial killer they mentioned, but like they had families too, and so that is a very good point. So this is like an interesting like, oh, I'm thinking about dad as dad, but then also, oh, new timeline. I will say this writing is doing a very good job at making the throwback feel like in those movies where they show a video like peaceful video of me with my wife and then fast forward and she's dead, right? It is very much giving us like that feeling, or giving me that feeling at least. I don't know if it's because I know that's where it's going or if it's because it actually is just that well written, but this is very good writing. I'm definitely going to look up more of her work. Okay. I have no predictions as of right now. I think she's buried on the yard. That's pretty much it. There you go. But I'm going to keep reading because it's like 9 o'clock, but I'm not tired yet. So let's see how much we can unravel before I have to go to bed. It's crazy that I feel like I'm experiencing so much, but then whenever I sit down to actually tell you something, it's like it it's nothing. Like it's things. Like it's building the characters, it's building the plot, but it's not things that I can share. Like you don't care. Like well, you care. But like some of the little things like their arguments, like they don't really matter. It's just showing their personalities. So like it's just I'm already at chapter 21, page 114. Um, she went on a walk. Beth, I'm sorry. There's three main characters. Beth went on a walk with Lucas. He basically said he never wants to know what happened to his sister because he knows she's dead. But then, like, actually getting the answer would mean that that 1 ounce of hope would go away. Um, Nicole is in treatment for her addiction, and she met with one of her high school friends, and he is a detective, so he got her the case file. Apparently, Nicole agreed to putting off telling anybody because she wanted to find out more, but she said it's for herself. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if that means like she was friends with, I forget the girl who died, Emma, or if I don't know, or if she's just trying to reframe how she thinks about her parents. I don't know what that. I don't know, but yeah. So that took a while to get to, like that whole conversation, and then and of course like it's showing distrust too between the siblings. Like that's a good portion of what's happening is we're seeing that like we're seeing the backstory of why Beth doesn't trust Nicole because of some of the actions she did whenever she was in full addiction. We're seeing the way Nicole just feels like she just hates herself and like she can't trust her siblings because she just doesn't. I she just doesn't feel like they're there for her, I guess. And then we're seeing that Michael, um, he's just, he like went off on his own. He took care of himself, and he's just honestly, I feel like he's just like doesn't feel like the other two are willing to take care of themselves. So he doesn't want to be taken advantage of, I think, is what I'm feeling from that. So the two biggest things that happened in this past chapter are they all three came back to the house from being out for different reasons, and the house was broken into, and everything was ransacked. There were, back whenever the will was read, they all three got letters that they hadn't opened. They're not supposed to open until after the funeral. We don't know what's in those. And then Beth got a storage key, or it's like not a storage unit key, what is those lockbox key things, like the little, like the security box keys, that she didn't go look at yet. So Mom was hiding something. I'm sure we're going to get some answers there. We don't know what the person who was breaking into the house was looking for, or what they found, or who they are. And we did find out that Beth has been emailing her dad every single week, and just hoping for a response. And he finally responded, and he basically said, "I'm sorry, but forget about me. I've done a lot of terrible things." So I have a feeling that whatever he did, maybe he's not a serial killer. Maybe he's not maybe he didn't do this on purpose. Maybe everything he did was like to protect his loved ones, and he just had to leave. Because honestly, with how in love the parents were, it is weird that he this thing happened in 99, and then he didn't leave until 2015. So that's a little weird to have waited that long, but then also the wife didn't really fall apart whenever he left. She definitely changed, but she didn't fall apart. So I feel like she knew why he left the whole time. That's part of the he didn't disappear thing. So I don't know, but I feel like I'm very close to halfway done already, which is wow. I did not expect it to go that fast, but I feel like I do need to put it down for the night. Also, check out this bookmark that I made. It's got beads on it. It's citrine glass beads, and then it says "Be happy," and then it has a tree of life on the other side. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading tomorrow. I don't know how much reading I'll get to do. I'm hoping, honestly, I can finish this Saturday. I don't think I'll have much time to read tomorrow, unfortunately. But this is a really good book. So thank you, James, for letting me borrow it. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to it. Okay, well, I love you and good night. so some things have happened. Um, Again, like it's not like it's so crazy how long I'll read, and like it'll be like four facts that I want to tell you. But I am on chapter 25, page 138. Um, After they got the email, they ended up tracing the IP address. I guess Michael's like a tech wizard, like that was his thing. That's how he's like rich now. Um, they traced it. Beth decided she didn't want to go because she's just like, he's not going to be the same person. I don't want to see him if he took this long to respond. Like he's not the same person. Um, Obviously he's not who I thought he was. And like Nicole really wants to go, so Michael's like, I'll go with her. So they go, and there's nothing there. Which, like, I don't know anything about tracing IP addresses other than like what I see on TV, but like it felt too easy. So I was like, okay, yeah, like I don't know. Like it said, like he was closer than they thought. I don't know. I don't know how it was phrased, but like they're like he's close, and then they trace the IP address, and it's like an hour away. So they go. Then afterwards, of course, Nicole is an addict, and she is newly in recovery. Like I think this would have been her 30 days. So um, she's just like, I need a fix. So she lies to her brother. They go to a motel to see a friend and get her stuff. Um, this is the weird part is like there's a guy in it. Okay, this is the maybe I just don't understand this. Maybe this is like a like I don't know. Maybe this is like obvious to everyone else, but there was a guy in an SUV who saw Michael whenever Nicole went into the motel, and he like nodded, and it wasn't a friendly nod. And then there was a kerfuffle, whatever. There was a fight, and Michael like ran to protect Nicole because essentially she was trying to meet her dealer, and she owed her dealer money. Um, he was the one who broke into the house. We find out. Um, Michael then beats up the dealer, pays him off. He's just like, screw this, and then takes Nicole, and then he makes eye contact with the SUV guy again, and then he nods in a friendly way. So I guess my thing is like, obviously, like the way that they like mapped this place out, it was like fully a place for people who are in their addiction. So like, was the guy in the SUV like watching for people that were doing drug deals, and he's like a cop or something like that? Was he just like disappointed that somebody would be driving somebody to get their fix? Like, what is the? I'm confused here. So that was confusing. But so they go home. I don't know. We haven't seen them yet. I paused, or their story is paused. Then we go to Beth, and okay. So I don't know. I know yesterday I was like, I don't really trust Michael. I feel like I'm trusting Michael again. I feel like he's just a closed off person because of everything that's happened. He seems like he just like he seems like he left. Oh, we did find this out. He left before his dad left. So that also gives me like he probably didn't do anything. He did say it's probably for the best whenever his dad did leave. So like I feel like he knows something about their dad. Like I feel like he had some inkling of his dad not being a trustworthy person or like a good person, maybe. Because he was way easier to let their dad go right away. But um, we don't know much more there. So I kind of like I'm leaning towards he knows something, but like he's not untrustworthy. However, like Lucas came in again, like we're in a Beth chapter, and Lucas came over and was like, "Hey, I just wanted to go on a walk," and like they go on a walk, and then like at the end of the chapter they're making out, and I'm like, something doesn't feel right about Lucas just being there. Like, and maybe it's because there's this big secret, and they don't want to tell him because it's his sister, but almost like he knows something. Like maybe he was a part of it somehow. We also don't really know why they broke up because like they're both still obviously in love with each other. Um, We don't know how or when they broke up. So I guess we'll find that out at some point. Um, I do like that this is more like there is no good guy, no bad guy kind of thing. Like maybe there will be in the end, but like I like that it's just like even somebody like Beth and Nicole where it's like I feel like we know they had nothing to do with this. They're like they're making good choices and bad choices. Like it's just a very human book. And I feel like it's not two-dimensional characters. These are very, very well thought out characters. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they were based on people in her real life because they're so well done. So I'm very thoroughly enjoying this. I am also enjoying the throwbacks to like the videos. We did watch another one where it was just like a couple months later. It was Michael's birthday after like the incident, and it does show that there was like some weird disturbance, like something was off between the parents, something was off with how her mom was acting. Her mom wasn't like videoing like happy anymore. She was videoing to like inspect everybody. So like I feel like though Nicole like nobody knew what was going on, but like Nicole even said like that's when everything changed and I don't really know why. So like maybe we're gonna figure out how the behaviors changed. I don't know. I'm just enjoying going back and like hearing the older stories. So yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of rambling, but I'm I think so. The next chapter is a very short one. It's going to be a throwback. Um, and then we go to Michael, so we'll get to figure out more about Nicole, I guess. Oh, I shouldn't have looked forward. There's a missing persons thing. This is why I don't read the summary because I'll just fixate on everything. Okay, I have to take a break, but I will be back. All right. So first off, I'm going to be a little less energetic today because I have a migraine and I'm sorry. Um, I'm enjoying lounging in my PJs after a nap. So yeah. Okay. So where did I put the book? I take the book with me. It was right here the whole time. Sorry, future me. Okay. Okay. So I'm on page 162. I'm about to start chapter 30. Um, Not a lot of new developments, but then also a lot of new developments. So all three of the kids are together now. The siblings are together now. And like Beth is cleaning up the house. They're going through things again. And more resentment is coming out. So we're seeing just the infighting. They're all upset about the hand they were given, essentially. Um, so I'm still not sure. I'm not sure if that is part of the plot or if that is like a separate like entity that the author is giving us. that has nothing to do with like where it's going to progress with the answers of everything. Um, but that's beside the point. So right now, so Nicole was going through the journals and found more um, more clippings of missing girls. Well, a missing girl. It's a bunch of clippings from one girl, and it was Christy Roberts, which I called it, is the girl that wanted to be best friends with Beth. She was 17 when she went missing. They assumed she was a runaway. I do want to say it's kind of obvious in a book like this. It's hard because it's like you can't have side characters in a book like this. You just can't. Like if they're mentioned once and they actually talk, it's not like a fantasy book where you can have 50 side characters that never say anything after that, you know? So it kind of is like a tell, but like also that's not a bad thing. Um, okay, and then let's see what else. So she went missing. The mom kept all the clippings from it. We're going back and we're seeing that the mom is pretending to trust the dad, but doesn't. I think she, obviously from keeping all this stuff, she definitely thought that he was a part of this. Um, we haven't gotten to the backstory of that. Like we haven't gotten to November of '99 yet in her backlog and journals and stuff, but we have, I mean, we have them. So like, I'm interested. I don't know where the pages were, but in the pieces that everybody got, like, I'm wondering. So I'm I'm pretty sure it was Michael got all of the dad stuff. The girls got 2 pieces each of the dad stuff. Um, I know Nicole got all the journals, and Beth got all of the stuff in the house, aside from obviously the journals and the dad stuff. I think that's all the stuff that was separated. So I almost wonder if the mom put information in the house and the journals and maybe something in the dad stuff that he hasn't gone through yet that like solves this so that, or like gives a bunch of hints to this. So maybe they were forced to figure it out, or like there wasn't a chance that they wouldn't find out something. Um, or maybe she didn't even think about that and she was just like, hey, the journals would go to the person who wrote, and it just happened to have hints in it, and they just happened to watch the videos that were in Beth's will, or not will, but inheritance. So I'm not sure on that. But anyway, so Laura, the mom, is definitely pretending to trust the dad, but doesn't. So she's the reason that they found her bicycle, found the little girl's bicycle, Emma. She's the reason that that was out. Um, I don't really know what her end game is. I don't know if she's trying to get him caught because she feels like she can't say the answers, or if she's just trying to unsettle him because he unsettled her. I don't know. Um, and again, I don't know why it took him so long to leave. Like, this happened whenever, like in '99, and he didn't leave until 2015. So why? And like the kids were 13, 13, 16, and 17, or 13, 15, and 16, something like that. So like they were close to leaving the house. So it's not even like he left as soon as like the youngest one graduated. Like, why did he leave in 2015? And like, I don't know why I keep wanting to defend him. Why do I want him to not be a bad guy? Like, why do I want him to have like done this for a reason? Um, but then also they did arrest the neighbor, the creepy neighbor. He did get out. He was released, but he had like a false confession, probably. Because like there's like the whole, did somebody else actually kill her? And then he just like found the body and like it was in like a suspicious way, so like he knew he would be in trouble. Um, Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I feel like he's the one who killed her, but I don't know why. then I'm like, but maybe he didn't kill her and there's like an excuse somewhere. I don't know. And then I feel like the clues, like, why didn't the mom just like write down in her journal what happened, like later on, closer to her death, and just be like, this is what all happened. You can find all the details earlier on. Like, go look at my journals. Go look at this video. Like, why is she sending them on a like a wild chase? And why did she wait till her like dying breath to be like, he didn't go missing. Don't trust. Like, couldn't she have said this like 2 days earlier or something? So I don't know. I guess we'll find out more. I'm not. I still have like, I still have a good chunk to go. What I'm on 162, and there's 238 in the book, so I'm sure it'll unfold in there. I don't think there's a second book, so we're gonna get all the answers, I hope. But it does say bodies, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's multiples. That's why I keep thinking somebody's a serial killer. Okay, back at it. I haven't read much. It's only been like 2 chapters, but I have thoughts, and I need to think them out loud. Okay, so firstly, Michael's chapter. Okay, so like the girls, Nicole doesn't hate either her brother or sister. She's just upset because her sister stopped helping her. She feels like abandoned. She feels abandoned. Okay. She feels like she's not good enough. Then she feels guilty whenever Michael helps her with stuff with money. Okay, fine. Michael and Beth like basically hate each other. Like, they love each other, but they hate each other. Beth resents Michael for just being able to leave and not take care of the family and not help with anything. Now he's coming in and he wasn't there the entire time that mom was dying, but um, whenever their sister was going through addiction, she was the one who took care of her. And now he's like, well, I could just buy the house, take care of the house, like, then she could just live there. And she's like, it's not that easy. Like, she's an addict, Michael. And like, he's like, you're just mad at me because I made something myself. And she's like, no, I'm mad at you because you got everything. They always like babied you and like, I don't know. We don't know, right? We don't know if like the girls were given the same opportunities as Michael was. And if he would just like happened to take them and run. We do know obviously like Beth hurt herself, so like she was supposed to be a track star, right? And then she couldn't get that scholarship because she hurt herself. So like that does have something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know if her resentment is valid. I don't know if his resentment is valid. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But they hate each other, and he is an asshole. Like, I get a lot of the things that he's saying. I understand where they're coming from, but he's literally walking through this town like he's better than everybody else. Like, it's a small town, and he like walks in the bar. He's like, same trashy people. It's the same trashy thing. I can't remember this girl's name, and she remembers me. I know she was a couple years older than me. I don't remember her name. Like, and it's like, it's just the way that he's saying everything and thinking everything. Like, and he's like, just, I don't know, he's just judging everybody. And like, even Beth's drink choices, like, she's like, I want whatever type of whiskey it is. And he's like, yeah, okay, and then buys her a better kind. Like, I don't know, it just, and then he's trying to buy the house. And like, honestly, I've been going back and forth on if I think Michael has anything to do with anything because he was only like 13 at the time, right? But then at the same time, there's there's nothing that says he couldn't have killed a 12-year-old girl, right? So I don't know. So he's trying to buy the house. And he keeps saying it's because of Nicole. And he wants to buy the house from Beth. And Beth is like, I don't want you to have the house. You haven't been here. You don't deserve it, basically. Um, but why do I feel like he wants to buy the house for ulterior motives? So there's that. I don't know. Also, one of Nicole's friends from high school, the one who gave her the packet for like Emma's disappearance, came about and gave her the packet for the Christie girl's disappearance. And he's like, by the way, I cross-referenced, and here's another one. And it was the guy who had originally confessed to Christie's murder. So here's my thought right now is this could have happened in like a couple different ways, but like here's my top two. One, Michael murdered the girl, Emma, somehow. Like it was an accident, okay? And then the dad freaks out, sees this, sends him to bed, goes and gets their wife, or gets his wife, their mom, and he's like, I can't tell you anymore because I don't know everything. I need to find out more before I can tell you. And then they like bury the body, fine, whatever. And then maybe Christy sees something, like maybe she sees like him cleaning up something, or because she like walks around all the time. So, like maybe she like stumbled upon things and like ran to him thinking like he'll help. Um, and then he had to kill her too because it's saving his son, right? And then maybe the guy who confessed like started to put two and two together because he's like, well, I have to get off of this charge. So that, or alternatively, Michael didn't kill the little girl, and it was like a hit and run or something like that, like, or he was doing something like the dad was doing something like in the yard that like he shouldn't have been doing, and all three of these people stumbled upon him doing this thing, so he had to kill them. I'm saying had to kill them to save himself and his family. That's my thoughts. Because I don't think like these guys aren't connected in like a way that it would make sense for like a normal serial killer. That's what I can think. But also, I'm just so mad at how Michael is treating everybody. So okay, I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so they had the funeral, and like Nicole is like obsessed with finding the answer in the 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 case files. Beth and Michael are like, let's put it on pause. Michael almost seems like stressed every single time that the case files are mentioned. He wants to keep Nicole from seeing Casey, and he just like, and he wants to buy the house, right? I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning more towards Michael now because Lucas came over and was like, well, they made out, did the do, whatever. They're in love, And then he's like, I have to tell you something about why we broke up, why I broke up with you our senior year. And she thought that it was because he was going to college and she wasn't. And he's like, no, I would never do that because of distance. Like, it's because of my dad. And she's like, what? And he's like, my dad. And she's like, yeah, hunting accident is what killed him. He's like, no, actually, he killed himself. And he left a note that said, oh God, what did the note say? Hang on, let me read the note. The note said he couldn't forgive himself for what he'd done. And then Lucas was like, I think he had something to do with Emma's disappearance. I didn't want to be like him, so I broke up with you to protect you from me. Okay, fine. And he's like, I wish I'd never done that. Like, I love you, I miss you, whatever. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't think he was. I don't think that was what happened. My parents were involved. And so she's like, let me show you. And so she goes to show him the tape. And the tape, after the dad says, Laura, and she turns the camera, it's static. Somebody erased the tape. And it had to be somebody who knew about the tape. So that leaves the dad, if he's close enough to be there. Laura, nope, not Laura, she's dead. Nicole, Beth, or Michael, right? Unless there's a mysterious fifth person that knows about the tape, right? And she's like, oh my gosh. And so he, of course, gets freaked out. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, why are you like this? Like, this is scary. And essentially, like, he's like, this is a problem. We're both fucked up, and leaves. So I don't know. I still feel like Michael is involved somehow, but also like I kind of wouldn't be surprised if Lucas is involved somehow still. Like if he knew about the tape and erased it, like maybe he could like hear what they were saying somehow and erase the tape. I don't know why he would do that, but it's still a possibility. But then also I was thinking about it and I was like, well, maybe the dad's not actually alive. Maybe Michael killed him because like he had the perfect alibi. He's in a different country, right? Um, and he gave up on the dad's disappearance so easily. He's like, well, maybe it was for the best. So that maybe like the mom kind of knew from that point. Like I think somebody's going to lead us to Michael maybe. Because Michael's the tech guy, so he would have had he could have figured out the password or already have known the password since they all shared a computer to the dad's email. So maybe, but then also the dad also used to send a bunch of cryptic emails. So maybe we're going to figure out what the cryptic nonsense meant. I don't know. I'm fully spitballing here. This could be anything. It could just be the dad is the problem. We're going to figure out how. But I don't know. Well, okay, so I'm done with the book. Okay, so I will say I was right and I was wrong. Michael did it. So me getting weird vibes off Lucas was nothing. That was silly. So Michael did it. He killed Emma. It was an accident. But Christy took pictures of it happening and then went to the dad and was like, hey, I saw that this happened. At this point, they had already covered it up and buried her and stuff like that because they thought they were protecting Michael. And she's like, oh, I'm not going to tell anybody. I just want money so I can leave this terrible town. So he did that. She's living a great life. Then Lucas's dad is actually the one who killed Charles because he always thought that he was the one who killed Emma. Lucas's dad did kill himself. And then the dad was dead, so I did get that part right. So Michael's girlfriend died of mysterious accident, I guess. I don't know. And so we don't know if he actually killed his girlfriend or if she died on her own. And then he came home and he was like, I just need my parents. Like, I'm so sad. And they comforted him, but then the dad was like, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? And then didn't believe him anytime he said no, validly. And went to strangle him. And then in self-defense, Michael killed him. Then the mom and Michael buried him. And the mom was like, I never want to see you again. We don't know what Beth's letter was. Because, like, remember the mom left letters for them to open up after the funeral? Don't know what Beth's letter was. But Nicole's was something like, it didn't tell us exactly what it said, but it basically said, like, I love you and whatever, like, how much she cared about her. Michael said, you're not the child that I wanted, but you're the one I deserved. But yeah, so Michael was either a sociopath or a psychopath or something like that. He was messed up, okay? So I guess parts of it, there were some parts I missed. I will say I'm fine with predictability. I'm perfectly fine with predictability. I don't think that's a bad book. I think I said this in my last review that I did for A Fate Inked in Blood. I don't think that makes a bad book. I think a bad book would be if it's predictable and it's not well written, or just in general if it's not well written. I think that that's the case. These characters seem very fleshed out. I really enjoyed that. My rating scale. Okay, so my rating scale is 1 is did not finish, 2 is struggled to finish, 3 is it's an average book, 4 is I would recommend it to somebody, and 5 is I wish I could read it for the first time again. I was like on the 4.5 border because like everything through the letter, oh yeah, safe deposit box. Nicole actually got into the safe deposit box. And like ended up saving Beth. That whole thing was great. But you need to read it. That was amazing. But the safe deposit box had all of the stuff. It had all the evidence. It had a letter from mom saying everything that happened. So I was like 4.5 all the way through reading that letter. And then it went to the epilogue. And then I bumped it down to a 4. So I'm saying I'm a 4. Here's why. The epilogue was too tied up in a bow. It's not realistic. I think a lot of people's actions throughout the book were very realistic and very authentic. It didn't feel authentic to the characters. Maybe Nicole, but definitely not Beth, how easily she forgave. And she was like, I'm not mad. I feel sorry for my brother. And I was like, what do you feel sorry for him for? Like, what is there to feel sorry for him for? Like, Nicole goes on this, it would make sense for somebody like Nicole who is, like, a very free spirit, who is very, like, 100% one way or 100% another way, it would make sense for her to be like, I have to forgive everybody. I have to forget about it or else I'll stew in it forever. And for her to be like, I forgive them all and I love them all. Um, but Beth, it just didn't make sense. It was like a complete 180 in her personality. Um, and she very much was like, I just feel sorry for my brother. Like, even Nicole was like, if I could talk to him right now, I'd remind him of the times he protected me and I wish I would have protected him. And like, he didn't need protecting. That's the whole point of this. And then Beth says her and Lucas get married and they adopt a little boy, and she's like, yeah, I get it. I would do that. I would have made every decision my parents did for my kids too. And I'm like, but like, didn't we learn this wasn't protecting anybody? It didn't actually protect him. If he would have just had consequences to his actions, maybe he would have been in a better place. So like, I don't know. It's just like the epilogue kind of like took the realism and made it not realistic. That's essentially what it is. It just made it not realistic. So, but it was still a really good book. Still really well written. Love the characters. I will stick with the 4 though. But now I can give it back to James. So thank you, James, for letting me borrow this book. Um, anyway, so if you have any books that you would suggest me reading, I have a billion gajillion books on my TBR, but if there's any genres or anything that you would suggest, let me know, because that would help me narrow down some of the books that I have in my house already. And yeah, honestly, the best thing you can do to support this is if you enjoy what I am doing, to comment or like, subscribe, anything like that. That would help me out. Send it to your friends so I get more views. That would definitely help. And if you have any book or crafting suggestions, just send me a little message, comment, or send me a message. But yeah, so thank you for watching. You're awesome. I hope you have a really good day.